Hello to all the beautiful and amazing humans living on our planet Earth. My wishes and prayers for each one of you is that you are able to function at optimum levels in every aspect of your life and you are able to be the best version of yourself. Today is an interesting topic, wealth and success. This will be a series. We will probably have 3 to 4 part series with this topic. The reason I wanted to do this one before I started putting series of other prominent videos like how to be successful on YouTube or multiple topics under the umbrella of psychology like parenting, how to set up your children for success and many other topics. I wanted to level set with our viewers, our community, and guide my community through some of our thinking around what to expect from us in the next few months. As part of this, we also want to let go of some viewers who will not benefit by continuing to listen to our videos and encourage the kind of viewers we want to associate within our community. Our best and deepest intentions and goals through this channel is to build a high quality community of successful individuals who will benefit not only themselves but also their future generations and directly or indirectly help our global community. So the only requirement I have from you is that you should have a minimum of 4 rational thinking brain cells. This is my nice way of telling you that if you are unreasonably influenced either by some kind of a set of thought processes, whether it is a religious or politically driven, and if you are influenced by your family in such a way where you do not use your common sense or logical thinking, then this is a good time for you to unsub our channel and part ways with us. This channel is meant for only those individuals who desire, who deserve, and have the intention to better the quality of their lives and the lives of their children, grandchildren, and future generations. And we want our audience, our community to live a fulfilling life, to live the best version of themselves in every aspect of their lives. So one of the goals for us is to be setting up our viewers, our community for success in whatever field they want success in. Personal, professional, social, anything, political, whatever aspect of their life. We want to bring into your lives certain ideas, thoughts, and habits that you can implement without spending a single penny to better the quality of your life and the quality of lives of those around you, your loved ones, your family, your children, your grandchildren. We want to help many individuals who want to set up and be successful as a YouTube channel owner. We will guide them step by step. We will help them understand all aspects of what they need to think through to become a successful YouTube channel owner. We will bring them to you. We will bring them a lot of unknown secrets that many successful YouTubers never want you to know and they never share about it. So currently we are diving deep into the world of YouTube space. And we have contacted Google directly and they have provided us a couple of highly qualified individuals to help us through some of this research. Because whatever information and knowledge that we will bring to you, we want that to be used not just by you, but by many viewers for probably the next couple of decades. In the last 2 weeks, we were astonished at the amount of information we gathered through this process. And we are more than excited to share these with you. But we are putting together this package. Remember, we have multiple age groups of individuals who are watching us. So we have to cater specifically in specific ways. And so we are putting some of those together. We are building this jigsaw puzzle, which is going to have a lasting impact. We like few other platforms like X and Instagram, but we will not address those in this channel. This is very particularly specific to just two main categories of topic. One would be how to be successful on YouTube, and the second would be extensively around multiple topics related to psychology, improving the quality of life, and how you can enhance the quality of your life, whether it is in health, wealth, emotional health, and every other aspect of a human being. So our primary focus for some of these initial content will be for the age group of 18 to 35. These are the individuals who belong to my generation, and they are the ones who are going through either the tail end of their education, who are planning to set up in their career, who are taking their first steps in their career journey, and who are either settled a little bit in their career journey and are trying to settle in their personal lives. So there are multiple critical key decisions that these individuals within this age group have to take, both in their professional and personal life. So we are going to guide them around many of these topics and help them make some smart choices and decisions in life. For those who are already settled in their personal life and have young kids less than 13 years of age, we will create some fantastic content for you guys. And the content will be directed towards helping you guide your children to set them up for success in the global market. And we assume that the age group of these parents are between the ages of 25 and late 30s. For parents who are older than that, who are in their 40s, or grandparents who are in their 50s and 60s, who have young grandchildren or children who are in teenage years, we will help guide you also to influence their lives and set them up for success. So you see, we are trying to address our content for different age categories, which will collectively help the society to become better. We are more focused on the future generations. So as we go through this process, we want to ensure that we are building the right kind of community with you. We are not going to come to you and give you any advices. We are not going to tell you, do this, don't do that. You already get a lot of unsolicited advices from everybody in your family, your parents, your elders, your aunts and uncles, your neighbors, your brothers, sisters. Everybody comes to you with a boatload of free advice. You should do this, you should not do that. And everybody is overwhelmed, whether it is in the area of career, settling in their personal lives, or having children. Everybody has an opinion around you who's going to come to you and tell you what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. We are not going to do that with you. What we are going to do with you is we are going to bring scientific, proven data analysis and statistical points where we can prove that certain patterns have been studied and the outcomes of what some of those studies and research have been. So we will bring to you the observations that will help you make smart decisions in your life. Let me take a simple example. What are some of the things a woman should be looking for in a man before she is agreeing to settle down with him? What are some of the compatibility things a man should be looking for in a woman before he thinks of settling down with her or agreeing for that? There are 7 to 8 layers of categories of things that you should be thinking about from a compatibility perspective to have a longer lasting successful marriage. So getting back to the topic for our day, the part 1 of our topic, which is wealth and success. So what does success mean to you? If somebody comes and asks you, what would be your answer? I think I already know what majority of your answers would be, but I'm going to tell you a smart definition of success. Generally, a person who is smart will say, my definition of success is achievements in my personal and professional growth and realizing the goals that I have set for those areas of my life. So you see, each one of you might have a different definition for success. But in this age of financial challenges and financial facilities and pleasures, Most of the society, they define success of somebody else based upon their financial achievements. Most are defined by how big their house is, how many vacation homes they own around the world, how many cars do they have, what brands of cars they own, how many branded clothes and handbags do they have, how many international vacations do they take, what kind of schools and colleges their kids are going to. And mind you, I'm talking about this a little bit for the upper middle class and the wealthier portion of the society. So my first question to you is, you need to define what success means for you and for your children. So as parents, if you are setting up becoming wealthy or getting a good job, a decent job, or being a little bit financially stable, if that is the goal that you're setting up for your children, let me tell you, you've already set them up for failure. You've already put the pressures of all kinds of unnecessary things on that young mind, and you're trying to limit the box of that person's capabilities. Smart parents never do that. They will always generally set goals for their children that will help that child become an all-rounded personality. They will nurture their children with many strong values and principles, culture, habits, discipline, and since early as 6 months old, they will start building their overall personality. And that's how you set up your children for their success. One of the and lot of our audience, since we have moved into the space of only keeping videos in English, we have started getting audiences all the way from China to Europe to South America and Africa, Southeast Asia. So we are going to take some countries as examples through some of these conversations. There is a big misconception in most of our Southeast Asian parents and some parents from other continents as well, that education is the only thing good education is the only thing you need to provide your child. They think that is the done deal and that sets up their children for success. It's time for me to bust that bubble for you. We have seen many youngsters who are highly educated. They're educated from Ivy League schools and colleges from places like India, China, Singapore, who have failed in their careers miserably in spite of their high grades from those schools and colleges. They might have scored really high in their academic skills because that's where the parents pressured them. They were kind of, it was like a death or life kind of a situation. They had to score high marks. So what happens is that with that kind of a mindset, that child loses the mojo. It loses that essential personality. There is no personality development for such kids. And most of the kids who come in the first three ranks, because in many schools, they still have that habit of ranking. Child came first in class. They scored 99.9 in certain grades or whatever, right? So that we have seen individuals like those, they generally don't become very successful in their lives, both in their professional and personal lives. So we are going to give you some guidelines to build a well all-rounded personality, not just for yourself, but as well for your children. And when I'm saying yourself, we are talking to the younger generation who are between the ages of 18 to 35, because we want to influence their mindset the most. They are the ones who are the future generation, and also they are the ones who are going to nurture the next generation. For those who are over the age of 35 and are unsettled in their personal life, it is okay. If you are still settled in your professional life, you are making your choices. We don't have a lot to say to you at this point in time. But if you're unsettled in your professional life, you can still listen to our videos, but it might be a tad bit late for you to harness on it. We have seen that many individuals who are over the age of 40, who are still struggling a lot with their financial situations, it is very difficult for them to come out of that situation. Less than 15 to 20% of the people are able to overcome those challenges. We are not trying to tell you this to disappoint you, but what we want to tell you is that over the age of 40, the individuals, they are generally unsuccessful in their careers because of two things. One is they have not leveraged their younger age to build their career experience. Second is they are in that situation because of some unfortunate, unforeseen situation, like maybe the earning spouse suddenly dies and the other spouse doesn't have the skills or the education to build their career. And the third one is these are individuals who over and over again, they keep failing in whatever they take up in their career. They are not able to sustain their career, because they are so set in their ways of thinking and they are so set in their bad habits that they are unable to come out of it. So you will see majority of the people who are struggling financially between the ages of 40 and 60, they are continuing to struggle most of their life, the rest of their life. Only 15 to 20% of them are smart enough to understand where they are failing. They fix and rectify those things. They change their behavior, they change their habits, and then they cultivate strength to come out of those pit holes. So you see, we will address some of those things, but you guys are not on our priority list. Our focus is on setting the mindset for young minds between the ages of 18 and 35 and to mold their success. And also for parents who have kids less than 20 years of age, we will definitely be doing a lot of this content that will help your children and will guide you to set up your children for success in the global market. So let me get back to the topic of busting the bubble about just getting the best education for your child is going to set them up for success. It doesn't happen that way. I'm going to take some examples over here. Let's assume that you belong to an upper middle class or slightly wealthy family of the society. In the US society, that would mean you have an equity of at least $10 to $15 million or more. So you are in that upper middle class strata of the society. The other example I will take is in India. If you have less equity than 10 crores, then you fall under that middle class or middle class strata of the society. So anything below the equity of 15 crores, you will kind of fall in the middle to the bottom part of your middle class society. So we did not use these numbers from any published research or any published government documentation. The reason being is we are using our observations of the society personally through our family, extended family, friends, and others. So we are using some real life examples of what kind of expenditure an average two-child family with the GDP of the society, what kind of income do they need to sustain in that society. So if you belong to a strata of society which is lower than what we talked about, then you are already being in a position of challenged. Let's assume that you belong to the upper middle class or the wealthy society in India. Now, if your child who is not part of that society is going to the same school as a upper middle class or a wealthy society, and we are going to take this example from India. Okay, so let's assume they are both going to the same excellent school within one of the excellent schools in that region. Okay, now let's assume that both the children are going to have the same kind of performance in their education, the grades that they are getting. Let's assume both the kids have gotten the same kind of grades and have same kind of performance in their school or colleges. This child who is from the upper middle class society, that child has had many opportunities, many other extracurricular activities that has helped that child to become an all-rounded personality. While the child from the middle class or the lower middle class child who went to the same school is only focused on getting good grades, does not have the ability or doesn't have any guidance in their life to build a good all-rounded personality. Guess who's going to get the job in the campus interview when both of them are going to go for the same interview? It is going to be the child from the upper middle class or the wealthy strata of life. So you see, education is not the only thing that determines your success or ability to find or get a good job. The other thing we would like to bring to your attention is kids who are getting done with their college or with their master's degree. So let's assume they are between the ages of 20 and 24. You need to make sure that you acquire a minimum of 3 to 4 years of experience, job experience, through internships, through volunteer work, or some other kind of, you kind of through your father, uncles, or through some family connections are able to do some shadowing of successful individuals in big companies. For free. Some of these work you will have to do for free. It is going to give you some exposure, something that you can put in a resume. If you say that I worked as an intern with one of the top managers within a top company, that resume will have an added value. So before the age of 24, you should have a minimum of 2 to 3 years of some kind of real life experience with the area of job market that you're going to step into. This is going to be a rude shock for a lot of parents in the Southeast Asian community, especially in the middle class and lower middle class families, because they don't understand these things. Nobody talks about these things with them, and this is pretty well known in the wealthier sections of communities in major parts of the world. So you see. And the other aspect of this is that the child who is, even though they might have a good education from a good college and they might score well, when it comes to the opportunities, the strata of society that is more wealthier, they have more network connections. They know somebody who's in a position of power, either in politics or in the corporate world or through some social networking, that will give their child more opportunities and more facilities to get into a good job. So these are some real life things that happen which cannot be ignored. The other aspect of it is that education is just one of the attributes that sets up somebody for success. One of the attributes. Now, there are two kinds of education. One is you're doing like an engineering, medical, law, or some kind of the top 5 kind of degrees that you generally get in most Southeast Asian countries. The other is where you're doing education in niche areas. Niche areas mean specializations that have high demand in the global market, and that high demand does not reduce in the next 5 to 10 years. For example, a neurosurgeon, a radiologist, somebody who is becoming an astronaut or who's studying related to space. These are niche areas. They will always be in demand. But if you're going to get an education, which generally most of the general population takes, I'm going to just take some examples, like an engineering degree with an MBA degree, which is one of the most common kind of education that many follow in the Southeast Asian communities. So you see, the supply is extensively high. So the quality of the individual has to be so high in order for them to belong to the top 10% of that tier of demand and supply. So going back to that example of, let's assume that your kid is doing an education which has a lot of supply. So there is a lot of population from that generation who are doing similar educational degrees or they're getting educational backgrounds. What happens with that is, if you have one job, you have 100 applicants who are applying for that job. Imagine who is going to get the job. So as somebody who has hired many intelligent, intellectual, and highly skilled people across multiple parts of the globe. I also personally train a lot of executives and managers in how to pick the best workforce. I'm going to give you some tips as to what they're looking for. Your resume, two things that is important, is not just from the school and college you are coming out of, but also all the experience that you have gained even before you got the first concrete job in the job market. The second attribute that they will look for is what is their personality? How is their personality? How do they present themselves? How are they articulating their answers to the questions in the interview? Which will also come into the third attribute of communications, one of the topics we spoke a little bit about in one of my past videos. The fourth attribute is they are going to judge your EQ and IQ levels. What are the EQ and IQ levels? We will do a video, an extensive video on this, but in short, it is your intelligence, emotional intelligence, and your ability to use your logical thinking and your rational thinking to solve a situation. And the fifth and very important thing is the grace of the universe. I call it the grace of God. Whether you believe in a religion, whether you do not believe in any God, there is always the way of the universe. The universe has an impact on your life directly, indirectly. The universe is guiding things into your life. Now I will give you two examples of geniuses who accomplished success like nobody else in their respective careers, and both come from lower middle class families. One such example is a famous Indian cricketer named Sachin Tendulkar. He is a very well-known name in many countries where cricket is very popular sport. Sachin's life is a real inspiration to understand and study in the field of psychology. Like I mentioned, he came from a very lower middle class Marathi family living in Mumbai in a very average household income. He was introduced to the game of cricket by his elder brother Ajit around the age of 10 or 11. Ajit himself was very passionate about cricket and he wanted to become a cricketer when he grew up. Mind you that Ajit is just a few years older than Sachin. One day, while Ajit was standing by a window in his apartment, he is watching Sachin play cricket with the neighborhood children in the gully, which are like the by-lanes around these apartment complexes. And while Ajit is watching Sachin play cricket, something in his mind clicks and he feels like my brother has some kind of unique skills in this game of cricket. At that age, remember he was just 11, 12 or 13 at that age. Ajit goes and talks to his parents and tells his parents that we need to find a coach for Sachin because I think Sachin is really good in the game of cricket. But just like any other average middle class family, their parents, they said, Ajit and Sachin, please focus on your school and education, and cricket should only be played as a hobby or something that you spend time with your friends. But that thought that Ajit had in his mind that there is something unique about my brother never left him. He was around the age of 14, 15 when he started trying to find a good coach for Sachin. Remember, they did not have the financial needs to hire a coach for training somebody in the field of cricket. Somehow, Ajit finds connections to a coach named Ramakant Achrekar, and this gentleman, Ramakant, was very well known in the local cricket boards within the Mumbai circle as one of the man with high values and integrity, and he was very well known for his character. Ajit goes and talks with Ramakant and begs him to see Sachin play cricket and tells him that, sir, with your coaching, my brother will accomplish success in cricket. And this happens for multiple weeks. This little young teenager constantly is going and bothering this elderly man, Ramakant Achrekar, to take Sachin under his wings. Eventually, Ramakant agrees to watch Sachin play cricket. Remember, this Sachin did not even have any gears or any kind of formal bat to even play a decent cricket. But when Ramakant saw Sachin play cricket, Ramakant was stunned. He was like, he took Sachin under his wings and he coached him. And it is because of the foresightedness of Sachin's elder brother Ajit and the large-hearted gentleman coach named Ramakant who were responsible for Sachin's unbelievable success. Rest is history. So you see how a young man like Ajit, who himself wanted to become a cricketer, sees the potential in his brother and says that my brother is uniquely skilled for the sport and I am going to encourage him grow in his career while I take a back step. If I ever have the opportunity to make a choice between meeting Sachin Tendulkar or his brother Ajit Tendulkar, I will pick to meet Ajit. Because it is such people in your life that bring about that, we call that grace of God, that major change in your life that lead you towards the path of success. I would really like to meet Ajit sir someday. And even today, Sachin always contributes his success to his first coach and his elder brother. And mind you, Sachin has put 100% hard work and 100% of efforts to reach to the heights of success that he did. But you see, that grace of God, that grace of bringing the right kind of people into your life and enabling your success, that's where I talk about the grace of universe or the grace of God. Now let's take the second example. This gentleman, his story is a unique one too. His name is Sir Rajnikant. Rajnikant is one of the most celebrated, successful South Indian actors from the state of Tamil Nadu. He was born in a small middle-class family and he was a bus conductor. He was not very good looking. Mind you, he did not have the looks for a traditional hero material, especially in India. Most of the heroes in India are very light-skinned and they have glamorous-looking faces. I'm talking about the decades of 70s and 80s and 90s. But one of Rajnikant's friend somehow sees some kind of a potential in Rajnikant and he pushes him towards the field of acting. You can go and find the details about his life. Rest is history. His fame is unbelievable. The kind of respect and adoration that Rajnikant gets from the people of India is unimaginable. There is nobody else in the world who has achieved that level of fame. And Rajnikant is a person that one should study about. The people who are close to him, they say that success, fame has not touched this man one bit. And that is what I think is the secret to his success. He has never allowed his success to get into his head. Those who know him, they say that he's extremely grounded. He's a man of the earth. And mind you, again, he has put in a lot of hard work to achieve the kind of success. These are two examples that give us an understanding how some geniuses are born. They are born to succeed. Nothing can stop them. Nothing on this planet can cause an obstacle in their path to success. Nature has brought them on this earth. They work hard. They make the right choices in their life and they will go through their path of success. It's not easy to achieve. But tell me now, how many Sachins and Rajnikants do you have in your family? 99.999% people, the answer is none. So you see, the concept of setting our youngsters and our next generations up for success in the field of their career is a completely different ball game altogether. We will talk a little bit more in details about what are some of the things that parents should do, what are some of the habits that should be inculcated in children early on to set them up for success and to be wealthy in their future. Success comes from success related mindsets. Mindsets that are disciplined, trained, have deep levels of integrity, values, and that are going to get you to the top ladder of your career. One such pivotal thing for you to think about is how to build a growth mindset. Many psychologists say that this kind of growth or wealth building mindset and becoming successful is something that you have to develop. It is a practice. These are a collection of habits that you build in order for it to become your belief system that help you come up with abilities and develop the intelligence through dedication, through smart work. It fosters the concepts of continuous learning, growing, and resilience. The second point is optimism. Optimism directed in the right way. You just cannot say, I'm a positive thinker, I'm optimistic thinker, I know I'll be successful and success will come to you. It doesn't work that way. Successful people focus on the possibilities rather than on the limitations. And when they're challenged with limitations, they know how to navigate those challenges and to continue maintaining their motivation. The third key point is discipline, self-discipline, the ability to stay focused and committed to one's goals and ensuring that you are not going to let this discipline be impacted by any distraction or by any difficulty or by any short-term gratification. Success is a long-term goal that you need to start setting in kids as early as when they are 6 months to a year old, because you're going to start setting up habits that are trained towards that. The fourth point is adaptability. The world is constantly changing. So you might be planning for success in the next 3 years, and you might have a solid plan, a workable plan, something that is absolutely going to guarantee you success. But because of things that are changing in the global world market, your plan can be whitewashed. You need to be constantly thinking about the global impacts and the changes that can impact your plans towards success. So smart, successful individuals always take these things into account and make sure that they're able to handle these situations with ease. Be confident, don't be overconfident. There is a very thin line between the two. You have the ability to drive your actions, your decisions, discipline towards success. We will talk more about how to set up a child for success starting very early on in their childhood in the next part of this video. We end this video on a beautiful note. Let's chant the Sanskrit mantra. Lokaha samasthaha Sukhino bhavantu. The translation of which means, may all living beings everywhere on our planet be happy and free. Please share this link with your family, your loved ones, and communities that you care about. Share this knowledge with your children and youngsters in your family and neighborhood. We look forward to hearing your feedback. Tell us what you liked about this video and how we can improve in the future. For upcoming YouTubers, you can contact us at the mentioned email and get our prior approval before sharing these videos. Make content out of these videos so that you are able to share this knowledge in your regional language and explain to your audience what this means and help them grow in their lives. Namaskaram and goodbye.